What's up, guys? Whale Pants here, and we're here with Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guys, coverage of the 2018 Delaware Disc Golf Challenge National Tour event. And we have some awesome ladies on the card. We have Paige Bjerkaas, Catrina Allen, Kristin Tattar, and Sarah Hokom. This course is incredibly demanding, and we're excited to see what these ladies can do.
I already got to see it. I was there.
Lucky you.
Are we still going to go by Whale Pants, or are we just the OP?
Whatever you want. Hole 1 is a pretty beautiful opening hole as a, just dogleg right, rocks in the fairway. You're going to see plenty of these out here. For these ladies, we'll probably see a lot of nice and easy turnovers. Sarah with a sweet little sidearm setting up for an easy approach to this basket.
I don't know if I'd call 484 feet easy, but we'll see what they can do.
I feel like most of these ladies have the ability to get there in 2 shots comfortably. Bang some putts.
All right, side. Oh. I think that's exactly what he said.
World champ Paige Bjerkaas looks like a judge.
Judge off the tee. She's been throwing that thing all weekend long. Off the tee a lot, just to stay in the fairway. And she has good distance with it anyways.
Love this angle. It's just got to beat those trees.
That's fine. It's the middle of the fairway. That's great.
A little early from Kat, but should be straight enough to where she'll still be able to scramble from there.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice little flip up. She'll have a little longer look from there. Paige B with the little sidearm action.
She doesn't throw sidearms as often as I expected for a world champion.
Yeah.
Watching her play this weekend and really getting to see every shot she threw, I was kind of surprised she'll take a turnover with the putter more often than a sidearm for sure. But when she does need it, it's good. That's for sure.
Kristin showing you just how it's done. A little backhand to a sidearm.
I'm a big fan of Kristin. I think we're going to be seeing her a lot more. I'm sure they're going back to Europe after USDGC.
I think so.
But she's a really smooth player. She's got really clean form. It's fun to watch. Oh, that was close.
Good from Kat. We saw Sarah a little pinched off on the other side, but she gave herself a chance to salvage her birdie.
Short.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, underneath the tree. I think that'll be pretty common here on this course. There's a lot of inside the circle putts where you're still obstructed or trying to straddle or throw it through 2 tiny tree gaps, so it's not always a guaranteed putt if you're in the circle.
Sarah and Kristin picking up some really good birdies to start this final round. That's definitely how you want to get your round going. Pretty routine from both of them. Sarah's been at it for a while, so she scrambles incredibly well, which she showed there. Just gave herself the opportunity to score.
I think it's really beneficial to have a sidearm here too. There's so many trees to get through. It's nice to see her line.
There's a lot of left to right finishing holes too, and even landing zones favor the left to right. Now hole 2 is not that. This is one of the 4 par 3s that we will see on the course, and
it's hard.
This is a very difficult throw. Tight gap on the left, bigger gap on the right, and you kind of have to decide which one you're going for. I've actually heard of the flex sidearm line being something, but we're not seeing that from Sarah, who would definitely be the lady to do it. So she's playing the wide route.
A little wide.
A little too wide, but she's putting herself in a spot in the fairway where she can get up and down.
There's like a little line of guardian trees, and if you can get past those, you should have a pretty easy par. But if you don't get past them, it's a scramble for bogey, in my opinion.
That was the line right there. Just getting caught up. See if Kat can show us what's up.
That was great. Oh my gosh.
No way, tree.
Told you this hole is hard.
That's a tough kick. That's a tough spot to be. You want to flex the sidearm a little bit, but too much.
Yeah.
There you go, Paige B. I love seeing Sarah elevate her game. You know, mainly we see her throwing sidearms off of every tee box, but seeing her bust out the backhand, you know, she's been challenging herself to be a model professional. So hats off to her to elevate her game to being able to throw that shot, no matter what.
It's getting really good too. It's been fun to watch.
Circle 2 look from Kristin. That's tough, being in the middle of all those trees. Oh, Paige.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
She was putting really well all weekend. This round it wasn't quite coming out of her hand the same way. So.
And this is not to mention that we just came from 5 rounds on 2 incredibly difficult courses at Worlds to have a really quick turnaround to be playing a national tour. So a lot of players are feeling that fatigue. So I think, and most of these women are driving to Michigan and playing a major, going major, NT major, which is it's pretty gnarly.
A little more stacked than I'd like it, and I haven't even been playing, but I'm just as tired as anyone else.
Yeah. Hole 3, I think this is probably one of the cooler holes on the course because it has a wooded feel but an open feel at the same time. It uses elevation. It's just beautiful, and it's really fun to throw because you can kind of open up on a fairway driver and give yourself a good opportunity. Plays really good for this type of sidearm as well because Sarah's going to have a pretty open look towards that basket. You know, I haven't actually seen many of these ladies pins because we were throwing to some different pins out here.
Yeah, most of them are a little bit shorter. If you haven't watched the first 2 rounds, I think there's only a handful of holes that have the same basket. Tee pads are always the same. So most of the tee shots I think are going to be similar as the MPO field, but just the approaching the green is a little bit different. This one's not down in that pocket that the MPO basket was in. It's still out in the open. But on a downward slope, so the approach is definitely technical.
Yeah.
That looked great. And there it is.
What a great shot. Holy cow. We don't see her throw many sidearms.
That was blind, too.
Yeah.
Kristin, super smooth. Something overstable.
Let's have a look.
Long. Yeah. That was a great shot.
And this being a course par 72, it's, you know, par ends up being a pretty good score to take. So you just don't want to be, you know, taking unnecessary strokes. So just keeping yourself in an opportunity to clean up your pars is very necessary.
Yeah, Paige B finished, I think, 2 or 3 under par the first round, and she was just completely stoked that she finished under par at all because this course is crazy difficult. If you get in a bad spot, it's hard to make up for it. Outside circle, I guess. You want to make those for sure.
You know, as a professional, you want to be able to bounce back from a missed putt, but they linger on, especially being in quick succession. But she's a world champ.
Sarah and Paige were pretty close at that point, so Sarah being parked, I think, is probably a little intimidating. Really got to make those putts. It puts a little more stress on them.
Yeah, making it look easy.
Drop in,
Great
birdie.
Yeah, Sarah's opening up with a very hot start and increasing her lead to 4 strokes, which is
just you wait.
Just what you want. Just what you want, especially going into a final round. You want to be able to, you know, make it easy as the holes get more and more difficult as time goes on. So this one, you guys played the same, the ladies played the same as the men, and this hole is so much fun to throw. For most of the men, we're either throwing big rollers or these big towering anhysers that flex out very slightly at the end, and it's super fun to throw. Sets up really good for a sidearm.
That's Sarah. A little right side, I think. You want to be a little more in the middle than that, but it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah. Right's the better miss because going straight and left, it's pretty jaily.
It's a great turnover by Kat.
Yeah, this is the shot.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, dude, holy, what a shot. definitely got some power as well. That
almost the
stays
exact
up.
same shot.
Yeah.
Just didn't quite flex out the same, but
Paige is going more inside. I like this play.
It's a little more stable disc too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Good.
Thank you.
That gap is smaller than it looks on film, I think. Trying to get down there clean is ridiculous. And they're pretty far away from that gap, so they're trying to hit like a 15 to 20 foot gap from 200 feet away.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Maybe a little bit less, but it's a little downhill.
This is one of the few holes where you can actually find OB. That road behind the cameraman and behind the basket is out of bounds. It was, we saw Kristin and Paige both trying to throw through this gap, and Catrina. It's not easy. That's, I mean, like you said, Tina said, you're hundreds of feet away from this gap, and it's very small. It's still got a little bit left to clean up her
roll
par.
on there, and that would be great.
Yeah. Kristin just pitching up, probably with a heart.
Good run.
Yeah, I like Paige's running step putt.
She's
probably one of the
really
best
good
in the
at
game.
it. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great putt.
To keep the round going.
That was for par, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even hit that tree and still makes a huge putt. That was great.
I feel like the prodigy bag makes Kat look smaller than she actually is.
It's a big bag.
It's like a little kid going, oh yeah!
Birdie from Sarah. Our current dog roommates. Sorry.
Man, that must have gotten in that, like a little roll or something, I don't know.
Well, it's a little muddy too. It hadn't rained for 2 days, but the day before we showed up for the tournament, the ground was just mud everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that little hill is slippery.
It's a tough bogey for Paige.
Yeah.
The other lady is cleaning up. Sarah extending her lead even more. Oh man, hole 5. So as you see the distance on this one, it is truly a par 5. It is an eagleable par 5, even in the longer position for the men, as we saw this weekend if you watched some of the other coverage. But it's funny to see how this course plays, and if you throw a good shot, you're like, oh, this is easy. But when you don't throw a good shot or you get a nasty kick, you really feel the par start to set in. Look at this flip up from Sarah. Stay out of the woods.
That's about right, and she wants it to be, but
Yeah.
not a bad shot. Just
Nope.
hyzered out a little earlier.
Yeah. Okay, Kat.
That was perfect.
Stay there. Don't get gone.
That's the other thing too, though. Your footing here can be compromised. You can throw the perfect shot, but then end up on a rock, and you have to throw a standstill or end up
Same kind
scooting
of
behind
line.
a tree.
Don't do it. She might have that.
And this is a little bit uphill, isn't it?
It's
quite a bit uphill. Yeah.
It's quite a bit uphill. Oh no.
Yeah.
This is where you start feeling like, thank God this thing is a par 5.
Yeah, every other day she threw a judge off the tee pad, a judge from the middle, and then a judge to the basket, and I'm pretty sure she birdied it with 4 judge throws every other day except.
I mean, that is a testament when you hear pros talking about, hey, play with your mid-ranges and your putters.
Yeah.
Like, you're seeing a world champ just
Come on.
putter her way to some birdies on these par 5s.
That's probably a good kick, actually.
Yeah, it was an awkward spot.
Very.
And Kristin has to just kind of aggressively pitch up the
Sorry.
fairway. That's a good play. Just
Still getting used to it.
Yep.
That's super important here. Like, having to pitch out definitely.
Yes, Kat, that's the way to go for it. No.
Having to pitch out definitely, obviously, increases your score, but you really just want distance with every shot that you're throwing. If you can even get 100 feet, I think that's a better play than just pitching out. Mm-hmm. These holes are so long.
And it's the woods are rough, but they're still scrambleable. So if you can just be covering some amount of distance on every single throw, you can still save pars and maybe even scramble some birdies just by covering the distance that you need. It's a pretty fun style of golf.
Let's pick it up.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Kristin can capitalize on her birdie here. Woohoo! Is that good? Great putt.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see if Paige can shake it off. It's first couple holes.
Yeah, you can tell she's a little worried about her putting just based on how long she's taken.
It's a good recovery as the first one's coming up short, but man, that's a bummer to see. But
yeah, she's one of the fastest players I've ever watched play disc golf. I've been doing video and pictures for the last couple weeks, and trying to capture her moments is really difficult because she's just so fast. So if she's slowing down on the putting green, you know, she's kind of thinking about her putt.
Mm-hmm. Sarah
still killing it.
Kristin has now caught up to Paige B.
Great too.
And Kat's playing great. Hole 6 is man, this is such an interesting angle of a hole because you want to throw a straight disc but on a hyzer. Because you don't want it to hyzer too much left or you get pinched off and can't access this basket, but you don't want it to go too straight or you go long into the shoal. So you want it to be like something like this. Never mind. Like that was a good line. It was going to be straight but still have a little bit of finish. Maybe like this. Dang it.
Stop saying that, Eric. You're making them hit trees.
Maybe like...
Oh my goodness, that was looking great.
These ladies are showing you what it's supposed to be like. If they miss that tree, they are in business to...
It's all the same tree, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
One tree to beat.
This is a good play. Little finish. Put herself in a good spot. She should have access to that tunnel that you have to throw through. I saw a couple big numbers. I took a big number on this one. The rough gets very difficult. You get to see a replay of Kristin throwing it into the fairway. Nice shot, Kristin. Twice. She still is throwing 3.
It was low, but
she still is throwing 3.
Nice straight line, at least.
Not 4. She didn't have to rethrow.
And that was a really good sidearm. There was really nothing over there. I got to see her look, and it was tricky. Yeah, her footing was a little funky on that one. I think her back foot slipped and hit that tree right in front of her.
Cat's going backdoor.
There's no line from where she was standing.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a jail of trees, and you can't... I guess you could have played maybe like an overstable flex, but that's just way too risky.
Yeah, and it's
really
really...
away from the basket.
It comes up quick, so she doesn't have enough room to play the flex.
Wow, nice sidearm, Kristin. That was beautiful.
She's going for the guys. The guys hole. Ours is over those rocks.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm. Good play. Paige pitched out, throwing a little judge. She had to clean up the car. Fired off a bogey. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I hit that tree.
Oh, God.
Sarah?
She was laughing because she pulled it, but it ended up being perfect, so.
It's, again, I want to give her praise for her pulling out that backhand and using it more and more because she's showing that she is a well-rounded player.
That was a great putt. A little further than you'd think. That was only 4 shots, just so you know. Not 5.
I did see Kristin throw it 5 times.
I don't mind watching her throw. She's good.
Yeah. All these ladies are. It's a, the constant conversation about the men's side of the game being all the players are getting so good, but the ladies' side is as well, with some of the ladies in Europe elevating their game, and even over here on stateside, it's why Paige Bjerkaas is a world champion. It's why we're seeing these different ladies challenge every single weekend. It's awesome. Hole 7, a par 3 downhill. I did.
Who was that?
I don't know. Downhill par 3, 370 feet. Very, very tight shot. This is asking for a sidearm, and it's not as much of a mid-range that turns or a putter that turns. It's just throw it straight, and if it drifts at all, you're going to be in business. This one's a little early, but she should be able to manage her par from there. Sarah Hokom special. If this decides to fade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came up a little short, but
Just circle's edge.
that was
Seems
beautiful.
good.
Makes me want to go work on my sidearm. Come on, baby.
So this is that line I was talking about where you want to just throw it straight, and she just gets robbed.
That was a good kick, though. Look at it roll towards the basket. If it would have squared that tree up, it would have been a lot worse. But it kept going. Deflect that, don't you?
Mm-hmm. This is what it's such a late turning hole.
Mm-hmm.
Force over, sidearm, getting herself in the circle. That's a good play from Kristin. Opportunity to save her par. That's good from Paige. Just want to look. Kind of getting herself up there. We have Sarah for a rare 2.
From circle's edge. Oh no! That was close.
Being that there's only 4 par 3s on this entire course, if you ever get to write down a 2 on a scorecard, you feel pretty stoked.
It's a great putt from Kristin. Good par save.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Paige. Now these rocks are a special breed of rocks. If you ask any of the players, when you hit these rocks, your discs get tore up. And I feel like they're made out of, we made the joke that they're made out of adamantium because they're, cutting things up like Wolverine. But they are beautiful. They are an integral part of the course, and they really do add to the difficulty of what you have to do out here, Totally.
which we'll see.
You're
This
not
is
just playing on flat grass. Like there's especially this hole. This is like you
The
can already
perfect
see it right
example
now,
of it.
but there's just rocks everywhere, and it's not just your discs hitting them and maybe going places they weren't planning on it, but really jeopardizes your footing. And when you're playing a lot of these holes uphill, you definitely want a run up, but
you can't.
you don't really get it.
This is a very, very difficult par 5 with a great shape to it. If I've heard stories of people throwing these high, late flipping, hyzer flip shots. I like this play if you can get the disc to turn, but that is so easy to do because it's uphill.
A little too early, yeah. It's on the edge. Okay.
It's just a great challenge.
This is a hard hole.
Yeah. And again, it's asking for you to be aggressive if you can, because you can definitely, all of the par 5s out here, I believe you can eagle other than 17. That's a good kick back in the fairway, but she's going to have jeopardized footing, so it's going to be, we'll see it. There's no running up there.
That was great, though. I think it was a little low for what she was looking for, but not bad at all. It's really uphill. You can't even really tell, but it is. I guess you kind of can.
All you want is some amount of distance.
I like Kristin's play here, just throwing like kind of a stable hyzer on the right side. If it's kicking, it's probably going to kick back into the fairway, not to the right. The rest kind of like turn him over, and it's a little too risky for my liking. Plus, she has a solid sidearm, so if you're setting yourself up for a sidearm up there, that was amazing. That went so far.
I feel like that shot is like the most commonly thrown shot on this course.
For your
Is
second
a
shot?
standstill flex sidearm.
Oh, I see.
It doesn't matter where you are. Like it's like, well, if you have that as an option, you take it because it chews up distance and you can keep it in the fairway. Oh, that's beautiful.
That was great.
I don't know what that hit, but I need to stop.
She's up there.
Yeah, that's a good play.
This is the one I was thinking of. It was a little low and it ended up cut rolling to the left a little bit, but it's a good line. Man, she was looking at a birdie. But she's a great scrambler, so can't really count her out.
They're putting in work with that backhand, little control putter shot. Love it. A little work from Kat.
There's a path right to the basket for you.
I bet you won't.
These two.
I'm gonna try my best.
She ended up right on the path. It landed, cut rolled, and went right to the path, so it's kind of convenient.
Nice. Little frame up.
OMG. Ooh, oh, that's in front of my mic.
That step putt, I'm sure.
At this point in the round, Paige just needs to try and climb her way back into this and put some pressure on Kristin and Sarah and kind of keep herself away from Kat so she doesn't drop any more places.
Yeah, Sarah's kind of running off with it at this point.
Oh, what a line.
Oh, that was a good run. She's so cute.
Sweeping it in. Nice.
And it's in.
And as you saw, it's only 605 feet, and it still took these ladies 5 throws.
Yeah.
Nice fucking Paige.
It's so uphill, though. And just super technical. Hey, look, it's me.
Oh, look. Hi, Tina.
Hey.
You're pretty.
You can tell
I
the
guess
camera in
it-
my face?
Yeah. As far as around for the ladies, which is pretty solid for this hole because a lot can go wrong there.
9 down. Yeah, Sarah's killing it. This round was really fun to watch. She pulled out some crazy shots that I certainly don't know how to throw. And her putting was solid.
This is when you see the gap off the tee. It feels like it's a dogleg right when it's actually just a gradual right. So you actually want something that doesn't have a lot of action on a sidearm or a turnover. You want it to be more straight than anything, which makes this tee shot so deceiving. If this flexes out at all, that was so close to an incredible line from Kristin.
Stand up.
A little early from Sarah. But it's
I
fighting
got
its
through
way
a lot
up
of
there.
stuff,
Yeah. But it's a really, really, really great hole. The tunnel asks a lot of you, but it's step up, throw your shot. Kat just missing everything.
Early release.
She's back in the
Great
fairway.
kick, though. Fairway's great. I mean, obviously that's not what she wanted, but good choice. Just laying it up there. You can probably fight off some distance or bite off some distance, but if you hyzer anything out, you end up over there where Sarah is, and it's just pretty nasty.
Great play from Sarah.
Getting some good kicks on this hole too. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Oh.
Man, that was a nasty kick. Really?
Yeah, this was kind of crazy.
Showing its teeth. This is Iron Hill to a tee, where you feel like you're throwing shots that should work out, and they just get whacked.
I saw some of the the most tree kicks of the whole weekend on this last round, but I still feel like everybody's shredded. They're just so good at scrambling.
Mm-hmm. And Sarah doesn't even catch a tree, she catches the leaves of the tree.
The leaves.
Leaves. There's a T in there. Leaves. Mugs, just putting it up there.
I think this hole's exhausting.
And it's crazy because this hole is, 50 feet shorter than the last hole, maybe even more than that. And it's taking the ladies the same amount.
I wouldn't call it harder though. It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like placement. Oh wow, that was a great run. Downhill too, but get it, girl. That was a good run. It was a kind of awkward straddle putt.
And that's the front nine, man. We're seeing these ladies battle it out a little bit, but it shows how tough this course can be and how important it is to
a lot can
stay
happen
in these
one hole.
fairways. But yeah, we had 3 bogeys in a double, but you know these ladies are going to start catching fire and going into that back nine. You know, Kristin and Paige are, battling for second. Sarah's pushed her lead, and Kat's right there next to her.